The cameras were rolling. The crew was focused. The script was familiar. And yet, in a moment no one could have planned, no one could have rehearsed, something shifted. 10 minutes ago, the atmosphere on set changed forever, and the name Kai was suddenly no longer just trending for his performances, but for a confession that sent shockwaves through everyone watching. This is not just a story about two stars. This is a story about timing, silence, restraint, and a single moment that felt too raw to be scripted. For years, Kai and Tan Songyun have existed in the same orbit of Chinese entertainment, admired individually, respected professionally, and quietly linked by fans who sensed something deeper long before any words were spoken. Their on-screen chemistry was praised as natural, effortless, almost dangerous in how real it felt. But chemistry is easy to dismiss. Confession is not. According to those present on set, the moment came without warning. There was no grand announcement, no press release, no carefully crafted statement. Just a pause, a look, and words that were never meant for headlines, yet somehow found their way there anyway. Kai, usually composed and playful, reportedly broke character. Not as an actor, not as a public figure, but as a man standing in front of someone who had clearly meant more to him than he had ever allowed himself to say. The set fell silent, not because someone called for quiet, but because everyone felt it. When he spoke Tan Songyun's name, it was not the way a co-star does. It was softer, heavier, honest. Was it love he confessed, or was it the truth of years he could no longer carry in silence? Those words, however brief, landed like thunder. Crew members froze. Assistants stopped moving. Even the cameras hesitated, as if unsure whether they were allowed to witness something so personal. Tan Songyun, known for her warmth and emotional intelligence, did not laugh it off. She did not turn away. She listened. And in that stillness, the world outside the set ceased to exist. This is why the internet exploded within minutes. Fans who have followed their journey replayed old interviews, searching for clues they once ignored. A lingering glance here, a nervous smile there. Moments that once seemed coincidental now felt intentional. Suddenly, everything made sense, and nothing did at the same time. Why now? Why on set? Why in front of everyone? Perhaps because sets are where truth often leaks through fiction. When you spend months pretending to feel something, the real thing eventually demands to be acknowledged. Kai has always been careful with his image, disciplined in interviews, respectful of boundaries. For someone like him to speak openly, even briefly, suggests a breaking point. A realization that silence was more painful than exposure. Tan Songyun's response has not been officially described, but those who witnessed the moment say her expression said more than words ever could. Not shock. Not rejection. Something quieter. Something complicated. The kind of emotion that does not belong to a single moment, but to a shared history. This is where the story becomes bigger than gossip. In an industry built on illusion, where relationships are often hidden, denied, or manufactured, a genuine, unscripted confession feels almost rebellious. It challenges the rules. It disrupts the machine. It reminds everyone watching that beneath the fame, beneath the roles, there are real people making real emotional choices. Is this the beginning of something new? Or the reveal of something that has existed all along? As news continues to spread, opinions are already dividing. Some call it reckless. Others call it brave. Fans debate whether it should have remained private, while secretly replaying the moment in their minds, unable to let it go. Because deep down, everyone recognizes that kind of vulnerability. And everyone knows how rare it is to witness it in real time. What happened 10 minutes ago may never be fully explained. Statements may follow. Clarifications may come. Narratives may be rewritten. But the impact of that moment, the weight of those words, cannot be undone. Whether this confession leads to confirmation or quiet distance, one thing is certain. Something real surfaced on that set. Something unscripted. Something unforgettable. And now the question remains, hanging in the air where the cameras once paused. When love finally speaks, are we ever truly ready to hear it? And yet, The story does not end where the confession was spoken. In many ways, that was only the opening scene. Because after the words were said, after the silence settled, something far more powerful unfolded. The aftermath. Those closest to the set describe a shift that could be felt rather than explained. Conversations resumed, but more quietly. Movements became cautious. It was as if everyone present understood they had crossed into a moment that did not belong to the public, yet would never escape it. Kai returned to his position, but not quite the same. Tan Songyun stood where she was, grounded, thoughtful, absorbing something that had clearly been a long time coming. What happens after a truth is spoken out loud. For Kai, this moment may mark a turning point not only in his personal life, but in how the world sees him. The polished actor, the charming lead, the disciplined professional suddenly revealed a fracture in the armor. And paradoxically, that fracture made him stronger. More human, more real. Audiences are drawn not to perfection, but to courage. And few things require more courage than admitting love in a place designed for performance. For Tan Songyun, the weight of the moment is no lighter. Known for her grace and emotional depth, she has always carried herself with quiet strength. Being the center of such a revelation does not demand an immediate answer. Sometimes, listening is already an answer. Sometimes, stillness speaks louder than reaction. And fans noticed. Across social platforms, the tone shifted from shock to reflection. Clips resurfaced. Old scenes took on new meaning. Lines once written by screenwriters now felt like echoes of something real. Viewers began asking questions that went beyond romance and into destiny. How long had this been building? How many times did they almost say it before today? How many moments were almost confessions? This is where the narrative deepens. Love in the public eye is never just between two people. It becomes a mirror for everyone watching. Some see hope. Some see risk. Some see themselves. That is why this moment feels so large. It touches something universal. The fear of speaking. The fear of losing. The fear of being seen. In an industry where timing is calculated and exposure is controlled, the rawness of this confession feels almost cinematic in itself. No soundtrack. No lighting cues. Just truth cutting through routine. That is why it will be remembered, regardless of what follows. Because even if nothing more is said, even if official statements soften the moment, even if both sides retreat into privacy, the fact remains. For one brief, irreversible instant, Kai chose honesty over silence. And Tan Songyun chose presence over avoidance. And everyone watching felt it. This is not just a headline. It is a chapter. One that may lead to a story still unfolding, or one that closes quietly, cherished only by those who lived it. But long after the set is cleared, long after the cameras are packed away, this moment will linger. In whispers, in memories, in the question that refuses to fade. What if the most powerful love stories are not the ones written for us, but the ones that escape before anyone can stop them?